Good afternoon, everyone. Pastor Matt and Pastor Becky here with another exciting episode of Dear Revs. And today's episode is a continuation of our conversation from last week. And today we're going to be talking about which version of the Bible is best.
If you don't remember last week, I don't remember last week, you can go on Facebook or YouTube and find the video and watch it for yourselves. But to give you a brief highlight, we talked about what's involved in translating Bibles and the teams that have come up with some of the major translations like the NIV, the New International Version, the NRSV, the New Revised Standard Version, and the CEB, the Common English Bible, and what were some of the translation goals that each team had when creating these different versions. Today we're going to talk more about versions and translations. Sometimes I ask people, what kind of Bible do you have? And they say, I have a women's devotional Bible, or I have a life application Bible. Maybe you're looking for a new Bible for yourself or as a gift, and you go to the Bible section, you're completely overwhelmed by all the choices. What's up with all of this? So version can mean a couple different things. It can mean the translation. Matt's going to talk a little bit more about translations in a moment. I'm talking about all the other stuff besides the actual words of the Bible. So for example, version, these are all three NIV, same translation, three different versions. This one is an archaeological study Bible, which the box is way cooler than the actual brown leather cover. You can see on it that it is an NIV. The black one is the New International Version Study Bible. And the last one is something called The Story. I found it on my bookshelf at work. I picked it up a couple years ago. So what this is someone has taken the New International Version and put it in chronological order and story format. I think I'm going to read it next once I finish reading through the Gospels. The differences in these two versions. So if you're looking for more in-depth Bible study, you want to know more about what these books mean, what the verses mean, who wrote the different books of the Bible, a study Bible is a great choice. It has all sorts of notes here about what some of the translation issues are in the various texts and verses, and maybe a little bit of commentary about what these verses mean. It will also include notes at the beginning of each book written by scholars, giving you some insight into the historical and cultural times and some of the overarching literary themes of the book. So this is fantastic for in-depth Bible study. If you happen to love archaeology or historical and cultural things, you may want to consider an archaeological study Bible. It has all kinds of cultural notes, things that they found in the excavations in the Holy Land, more about the time period in which the Bible is set and written. That's a great choice. A devotional Bible, if you have one of those at home, will have devotional notes that gives you some insights on how to apply the Bible to your life. So you have all different versions, and a lot of those might be geared toward your age or your interest or groups that you identify with, and they can give you some different perspectives and different insights. But translation is still an issue.
So we've found that the versions and translations of the Bible broadly fall into three different categories. The first category, the one you're probably most familiar with, includes the NRSV, the NIV, and the CEB. And these versions are scholarly but readable at the same time. They're scholarly in that they stick very closely to the original words and language used in Greek and Hebrew, but they're readable in that the sentences are adjusted to be readable in the English language, is understandable by most readers. The more literal translation exists as well, and they often render the sentences word for word in whatever order they were written in Greek or Hebrew. The most commonly accessible version of that is called the New American Standard Bible. And if you read that, you will find that the sentences are a little funky in that they don't sound quite right to our English-speaking ears. The final category is called paraphrases, and that includes the Message, the Voice, and the Amplified Bible. And those versions of the Bible and translations communicate ideas versus communicating words. So they will often take the ancient Hebrew and Greek ideas and translate them into modern American and English ideas. For example, the money is often rendered as dollars. So, Becky, which version of the Bible is best?
Well, the pastoral answer from both of us is whichever one helps you grow closer to God and helps you expand your knowledge of God, love for God, all creation, and each other. But that sounds a little bit like a cop-out, doesn't it? So we're going to talk about some of our favorite versions. My favorite version lately for personal reading for work at church is the Common English Bible. I would show you mine, except I have misplaced it. I've been reading it online at Bible Gateway. We'll put a link to that in case you're looking for a Bible on the go. Bible Gateway has all kinds of translations that you can find, pretty much anyone you want, and it's a great online Bible. I also have enjoyed reading the Message. This version was given to me by my home church. It's a little bit special, but I like the Message because it sounds so different. And sometimes you can hear a passage 1,000 times and then something new jumps out at you. I like the Message because it is different and it helps me hear the Word of God in a new way. It makes me wonder about new things. Matt, what's your favorite version?
Well, like you, for my personal devotional reading, I use the CEB. But for preaching and preparing sermons and Bible studies, I like the New Oxford Annotated Bible, which is a scholarly version of the NRSV translation, and that helps me prepare sermons and communicate the ideas in the texts every Sunday. Until next week, goodbye and God bless. Reach out to us if you have any questions.
Bye-bye. Be well.
Bye-bye. Take care.